Hi, I'm Bill Corcoran Jr. This is the On the Stacks podcast.
Oh yeah, whoa, look, they can never keep me down, I'm going, and if I ever fail, just know I'll go again. I never quit, cause I know that every loss may lead to another win. I'm going up.
Today's episode features Erin Dugan Jurchak, a Northeastern Pennsylvania native and a globally recognized beauty content creator. We discuss Erin's experiences working in traditional media and how she built a beauty content empire with millions of social media followers during the 2020 pandemic that allowed her to make it her career. Erin also shares valuable advice for anyone looking to create engaging video content and how you can get started today. To support this show, please check out our sponsors in the description. I'm your host, Bill Corcoran Jr., and this is Erin Dugan Jurchak on the Stacks.
Things really started to change when I hit 1 million. People are sending me clips of me on TV, and I'm just like, I was just putting this on the sidelines in an old Forge like 2 years ago. What? And now I'm in a commercial? Like, what is going on? Now that I get to do it full time, I'm just like, wow. Like, it's so cliche, but I'm just like, pinch me. Like, this is my life. This is my job. Like, how lucky am I?
This episode is brought to you by Cavanaugh's Grille, one of my favorite places to eat and drink in any PA. They've got one of the best outdoor patios with 13 TVs and over 20 beers on tap. You can also dine inside at this cozy Irish-style pub where your beer never goes empty. Did I mention how delicious their food is? Their in-house smoked brisket, barbecue ribs, and wings are to die for. So grab your friends and have a drink on me at Cavanaugh's. Mention code STACKS for one free draft beer with purchase of any entree when you dine in. Located at 163 North Main Street in Mountaintop, Cavanaugh's is open at 4 p.m. during the week and 12 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday during football season. Dine in today at Mountaintop's only Irish-style pub. This episode is brought to you by Burn, the fitness company behind the Today Show approved Burn board. If I'm being honest, working out can be a real chore, especially as a new dad in desperate need of sleep and cardio. Burn is founded by NEPA native Jimmy T. Martin, and his Burn board offers a low-impact core and cardio experience unlike anything I've done before. They have hundreds of on-demand workouts that are great for beginners, seasoned athletes, and out-of-shape podcast hosts who love supporting small businesses. My wife and I use it pretty frequently throughout the week, and it's honestly a great way to burn a ton of calories without burning a ton of cash. Not to mention, it's a great tool for skiers, runners, wrestlers, and hockey players. Jimmy is offering all On the Stacks listeners 15% off when they use the code STACKS15. Visit theburn.com today to get 15% off your purchase with code STACKS15 at checkout. Again, that's theburn, THEBRRN.com to get 15% off your purchase with code STACKS15. It's time to get on board today with Burn.
Hey Northeast PA, Paul Perfect Storm here. Do you want your kitchen or bathroom to go from this to this? Well, Perfect Storm can do it.
Need a kitchen or bath remodel and don't know who the experts are? Perfect Storm Renovations. Expert designers and installers who can help you achieve the kitchen or bathroom of your dreams. Schedule your free in-home design today. Perfect Storm Renovations. High-end quality anyone can afford.
What's up, podcast? It's your host, Bill Corcoran Jr. here in the Blue Door Studio, protected by our friends at Ricci Security Solutions. Erin Dugan Jurchak, welcome to the OnTheStacks podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
Yeah, how does it feel to, be, behind? You're still, you're still behind the camera like you usually are. However, after this, you just get to go home and not have to edit anything.
Oh. It's such a good feeling.
Right?
Yeah, you do all this. Yeah,
you're
good.
Yeah. So like you don't have to actually do all the work.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice.
Because I always say, like, anytime I've ever been on somebody else's podcast, it's like usually one of the first things I say, like when I'm on the show, I'm like, oh man, like, this is nice, like being on the other side for once, because like you just show up.
Well, doing all my own editing for TV for 10 years, like, I know your pain. So, like, all these cameras and all these little things that got to go together, like, I know how long that stuff takes. So
it's a lot.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah. And even still now, even with what you do now, I mean, even though you're not in TV anymore, like, it's still, I'm sure, what you do now is still a lot of work.
It is. It
right?
is. Yeah. I think people have a tendency to think maybe just set up your camera, talk about a little something, do a little tutorial, and then post it.
Yeah.
But there's a lot that goes into it for sure.
I know. We got to talk about that because, the same thing happens all the time. Like, people reach out like, hey, you want to, like, can you just, like, do this quick video? I'm like, quick video?
Yeah.
quick video.
Nothing is quick.
Right?
Nothing ever.
Nothing. Right? So, I mean, especially when you're creating content at scale, which I would say is what you do, and it's a lot. Like, it really is. There's a lot that goes into it. And obviously, the bigger you get, the more, I'll say, like, bigger following and, all the, deals brand deals and things that you have now, like, there's more pressure.
Oh, for sure. But luckily, I mean, the format right now is still, these brands, they're not exactly looking for a perfectly curated, 4K, awesome finished product. Right now, it's still in the zone of, no, we want you to set up your phone, go in your bathroom, show us your skincare routine. It's very, very organic, and that's very helpful to me.
Yeah. But at the same time, still requires editing afterwards to piece things together. And like you said, it's not as easy as just hit record and then post it 10 minutes later.
It's definitely not easy, but I do love editing. That was one of the biggest things that's one of the biggest things I miss about working in television is, I was on camera and, I did live reports and all that. But the thing that I really loved was putting together shows and editing. I used to do 30-second commercials. So they'd come in and say, here's a couple photos. That's all this business has. Can you do a little something? I'd be like, oh, yeah, like do. And just kind of use my creativity and make fun commercials and add music and graphics.
Why did you like it? So why did you like the editing so much?
I don't know. I liked putting together music videos in college. Like, I always liked that aspect of it. And filming, I always liked filming footage and putting it together. Just fun. Like, I'm super creative. I've always had that in me. I was an artist ever since I was little and calligrapher. And I have that left brain in me.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay. That's why you noticed my my wall mural out there.
Yeah,
and
that was awesome.
And you're like, did you make this? And I'm like, no, I can't.
You're like,
even,
no, definitely not.
Yeah. Can't even write my name straight. So shout out to Rico Ebert. He's the artist that made the mural for me. So
nice, Rico.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah. Super cool dude. But yeah, so television, you went from television to content creator. And what is that? What was that transition like? It's you're still somewhat in doing a similar type role, but it's completely different too.
Yeah, well, I don't have a boss. That's my favorite thing. There's not one person to report to.
You only have to report to yourself now.
That's it. My own hours. If I want to do 10, 12 videos in one day, that's cool. If I want to take 2 weeks off and just, go wherever I can, the freedom is the best part of it all. The freedom and being able to stay home with my son and raise him, which I didn't think I'd ever be able to do. Remote jobs weren't a thing. And I'm like, how am I going to be able to raise my son at home? And everything just came together. Yeah.
It's so weird how the times have changed just over the last, 3 years?
Yeah.
I mean, for you, what was it? That the pandemic was really this turning point for you in your career, right?
Absolutely. Well, I was an MC for the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. And, that was allowing me to still be able to be in the workforce, kind of do something creative and fun, but still stay home with my son and raise him. Because by the time I was off to the games, he was already in bed. So I'm like, this is perfect. And then COVID hit. And I'm like, what am I going to do? No job, no money. I mean, and TikTok had just started to come out and be popular. So I'm sitting there and I'm scrolling and, it's dance videos and comedy videos. And I'm thinking, I wonder if like makeup tutorials or tips or tricks would work. And I just started to test the waters and they started working. And the following just started getting bigger and bigger. And I'm like, wow, I could really do this. Like, this is really a good fit.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's crazy.
It's crazy how far like it's come for you. Like it's really cool. Like I love to see the success. People like you, especially here in home, right? Like, we're from the same hometown. And I love to see people like you that just are absolutely crushing it in the content world. I love having conversations with just other content creators in general.
Yeah, it's always
right?
interesting. Always interesting.
It is because we can relate on a lot of levels. Like going back to the the video thing. Like the editing, and it's like, oh yeah, just make it's just a quick video.
Just a quick video. It'll just take you a couple minutes.
Yeah, just a quick video. That's my favorite. That's my favorite new joke. So yeah, just make the quick video. But yeah, so for you, you start creating these TikTok videos, and at the time, like, what was going through your mind in terms of like, okay, I'm making these videos, like, what am I doing here? Like, what's my goal? What am I going to do with this? Did you have any thoughts at that time that it was ever going to grow?
I mean, it was always a little bit in the back of my mind because I had tried to be a beauty blogger or a YouTuber so many times. I've always loved the beauty industry. I grew up in my mom's hair salon. It's always been part of my DNA, makeup and hair and skincare and just, being the one to do everybody's makeup before prom and things like that. So I always had that in me. And the problem is I didn't have time. I didn't have any time when I was working at Fox, 10, 12-hour shift, trying to come home and film a YouTube makeup tutorial, trying to edit it. I'd have to stay after at work if I wanted to try to edit a YouTube video together. It was just a lot. And I loved it, but I just had to give it up because there was no time in the day for it. So I had all the time in the world with COVID, a 7-month-old at home, just me and the baby. And I'm like, well, you have the time. So now that you have the time, let's try to do it. I did not think it would turn into this because I didn't know that TikTok was the new kind of YouTube. So in YouTube's early days, there's people that kind of got in on the ground floor, I like to say, and just became these huge YouTube stars and things like that. It was just the perfect combination of everything at the right time. So I kind of got in on the ground floor with TikTok and was one of the first people to really start doing makeup tutorials and trying to gain a following. And I never gave up. I just kept at it and I'm super consistent still now. And that's part of the reason I'm still doing it.
Yeah. So you think it's the consistency?
Oh, yeah. And it can be hard sometimes too, but you just got to keep doing it day after day.
Yeah. Hard why? Like what?
I just don't have time. I know. You're like.
Yeah, give me an example.
So my son's only in school a couple days a week for a few hours. So I can't film with him at home.
I was going to say, he'll be running around,
Yeah. And I don't really show him on any of my social media platforms. Just too many people. And it's just a decision my husband and I made. Like when he's older, he can decide if he wants to be on. I don't want to make that decision for him. And just a lot of creeps out there, to be honest.
For sure.
So, so I don't have him in my content at all. So if he's like sneak it in or if I'm trying to film something, it's like, no, I need the house to myself. So once a week, my son goes to my parents and I'll try to film like 7-8 videos in one day and then, edit them later in the week or at night when I'm sitting on the couch with my husband and get them out little by little. But when he goes to school, I'm going to get my YouTube channel going. Like when I have time to really get things going again is when I'm going to.
You can get back into YouTube.
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah, I think so. I think people are not over the short form content, but I don't know. Itching for something a little more because those short, quick videos were king for so long. Everything goes in a progression and valleys. And I think you're going to see longer form content start to sneak back in this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Well, hopefully then people start watching my show a little more. I just gotta stick this out a little longer, right?
Well, it could be longer than a podcast.
Right? Seriously. Jeez. Yeah. Quick video though. Just quick, just make a quick show.
You should just do 15-second podcast.
There we go. Yeah, one question. Yeah, you get one question. I'll tell you ahead of time, and you just come in and answer the question.
That's it, and you leave. Yep.
Yeah. One question. One hit wonder.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's the name of the podcast. I'm taking that.
There you go.
One hit wonder podcast with Erin.
That's it. That's yours.
Thank you.
It's your $1 million idea.
I don't have time.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly.
I don't have time.
So all right. So you batch you batch your content.
I do.
Right. Take me through that because I think a lot of there's a lot of other content creators that watch this show,
Mm-hmm.
like a lot of other podcasters and just people I know in general that just create content, and I think it would be helpful for people to hear from somebody like you. I don't really talk about it enough myself, but how does it work for you?
So basically, I'm sure you're the same way. So your notes app is it never ending?
Oh
I'll literally wake up in the middle of the night and grab my phone and be like, oh, I want to do this tutorial on a cat eye with this smoky eyeliner, and go back to bed.
You have to, because if you don't do that, then you forget about it.
So every Tuesday night, because Wednesday is my big film day when I get to just do whatever I want all day and create all that content, I'll make a list for myself and I kind of have to map it out because when it comes to makeup, if I'm doing a tutorial, I don't want to completely rinse off my face and start from scratch to do a different kind of tutorial or tip or review a product. So what I do is I kind of map it out okay, so the first video of the day will be skincare because I'll have no makeup on. So I'll show, lymphatic drainage massage or how to do this or that. And then the next on the list will be maybe how to fill in your eyebrows. And then next is a tutorial on how to put on false lashes. The next will be a hair tutorial or an updo. And then when I'm all put together, sometimes I throw in some fashion videos and outfit of the day. So it has to go in a progression like that to make the most sense.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes it a little easier.
Yeah.
Just to keep going. You don't have to, it's like literally, it's just like a day in the life.
It is.
Right?
Yeah.
There you go. And then you can just put that whole thing together in long form.
Yeah.
You
could.
Like you said, like your long form that you want to
I'll get there one day. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So but going back to, like when you first really had some success, right, on TikTok, like what did that look like? And when did you realize like, hey, like this, I really have something here?
I think it was when I had this one specific series. It was 10 days of easy Halloween makeup. And I had kind of gauged my audience by then at a point where I kind of knew what people wanted. And I knew that most of my viewers were beginners, didn't know anything about makeup. They really just needed the smallest tips and tricks. So what I did was I put together a series of 10 days of easy Halloween makeup, and they were very simple. Just kitty cat, scarecrow. But I put really fun, punchy music behind it and did fast, quick edits and text on the screen, and people really loved it. And because the algorithm in TikTok favors when people not only share but save videos to their phone, it blew up. That series blew up, and I gained, I think, 200,000 followers in 1 week from that. And then, Drew Barrymore show called. They wanted me to do a segment on there, and I started getting PR from brands. So basically that's just them sending you their newest launches or their latest products. And as soon as I started getting on PR lists for makeup brands that I never thought in a million years would know my name, let alone want to send me things, that's when I was like, oh, this could be a career, really? Yeah.
Wow. So all right. So what did you do next? Like, you're like, you're doing this at home, just, maybe making some money, but maybe not a lot. And then it's like, okay, this is real now. Like, what did you do to navigate and figure out like what to do next?
Well, navigating on my own, I was grossly underestimating myself and to be frank, the money I could make doing that.
So you were undervaluing yourself?
Oh my gosh, so much. Where I had a management team come in, and Brittany, my manager.
Yeah, shout out to Brittany, by the way.
She's amazing.
Yeah, I almost kiboshed this whole episode, so I apologize. I'm sorry, Brittany. I'm sorry, Erin. I tried to make everybody sign too many forms, but hey, listen, we're here. It all worked out, and
that's their job. So
exactly,
I have a whole team.
Yeah.
I have a manager, a lawyer, all this crazy stuff I had no idea that you would need as a content creator. But contracts, and I have a team that looks over all my contracts and everything. It's wild. It's really crazy. So once they came along and they were just
did you find them, or did they find you?
They reached out. A couple agencies reached out, and then I kind of talked to some other people that were represented by them. And then Brittany, it was instant, because she's from Lancaster originally.
Yeah, she told me. Yeah, I heard. Yeah,
I went to her wedding. Like, we're very close. We talk every day. Yeah, I really lucked out. Because when we, are talking and just like shooting the shit about whatever brand deal or this, like, we are completely ourselves, and that's so important to have in a manager. So, yeah, once she kind of was like, "Oh, girl, no."
So what? So like you were trying to sell. Like sort of sell, like if somebody reached out to you, you were trying to just say, hey, this is what I think it's worth, whatever. And then they would say maybe the company would say yes or no or whatever. But then you realize after talking with Brittany and her team, oh my God, I'm not charging, or I'm not.
Yeah. Well, I had no idea
it.
about rights and usage and all these things. I'm just thinking,
how does that work?
I don't know.
Well, that's what Brittany's for. We'll have to phone Brittany in here.
Brittany and yeah, I have a lawyer that I work with through my agency, and they look over all the fine print of everything. And I mean, they'll negotiate to the day, to the hour of when is this going to run? Is it going to run on multiple platforms? Are you going to put paid money behind this to boost this ad? Where's it going to live? Is it going to live on your socials, her socials, both? I mean, there's just so much that I never knew. And there's a lot of brands that want to take advantage of green new content creators and really just, throw them $100 and say, do you want to do an ad for me, and then use it in perpetuity. Another word I learned throughout all this.
Yeah.
Never sign up for anything in perpetuity. Okay, Bill.
Oh shit! I gotta look to see. I gotta look to see what I signed here. Jesus, you guys might own my show now.
On the stacks with Erin Dugan Jurchak in perpetuity.
Yes, let's switch seats right now. No, but I mean, it's cool. I mean, you obviously you learned enough or enough about it, and you have the team that backs you, that has your best interest, which is important.
Yeah.
Especially to so you don't get taken advantage of, because I'm sure maybe it's happened to you, maybe it hasn't, but I'm sure other people that it has happened to.
Oh, definitely.
Right?
Yeah, definitely. People just have no idea. They have no idea what contracts mean or things. I still don't half the time. I go through and look at things, and it's important to find people you trust and trustworthy agencies and people that are really well known and that you vibe with, and go from there, because there's a lot that goes into this stuff.
Yeah. So like, all right. So you said that they reached out to you, but like, at what point do you think a content creator, like yourself or anybody, should maybe consider having somebody like Brittany's team be involved? Like, is there like a certain level? Like, I don't know. I'm trying to navigate. I'm trying to figure it out, just for for everyone that's listening and watching to see.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because
just from the value standpoint, I think from just from, I guess I'm more trying to ask about the value, right? Like what is your value worth? And I'm not asking you that personally right now, but just in terms of, as a content creator, figuring out what your value is worth for posting X, Y, and Z. On the Stacks will be back in a flash after a word from our sponsor.
I've spent my entire career fighting for victims, initially as a prosecutor and now as a litigator. My focus has always been, and is always, to get our clients and their families back to what we call their new normal. At our firm, we go to great lengths and use all the resources available to us to get our clients the answers they need and really the compensation they deserve.
To learn more, visit Anzalone Law offices online at anzalonelaw.com. Welcome to the future. While you're hearing this ad in the present, the Center for Technology Innovation at Lackawanna College is preparing students for the jobs of tomorrow in the world of advanced technology. The Center for Technology Innovation will offer undergraduate degree programs, corporate training, as well as short-term stackable certificates in areas such as robotics, cybersecurity, electric vehicles, virtual reality, and artificial intelligence. Based at a 90,000 square foot facility in downtown Scranton, Pennsylvania, the Center for Technology Innovation is located 2 hours from the major cities of New York, New Jersey, and Philadelphia, and is just 15 minutes from a commercial airport in a region thriving with tourist attractions and a vibrant restaurant, educational, and cultural scene. Lackawanna College is a proven industry-leading innovator. But don't just take my word for it. Fast Company even recognized Lackawanna College's reputation for innovation by naming them to their top 10 list as one of the world's most innovative companies. For more information or to enroll, call 877-346-3552 or visit lackawanna.edu. And now we're back on the Stacks.
Right, and that's really hard to know because of all the metrics and the way things work, and TikTok is different than other platforms, and it's all wild. But I think it became very overwhelming to me when brands started reaching out, and I was getting 20, 30 emails a day. I still do get sometimes 20, 30 a day, but I'm trying to feed my 1-year-old, and CoverGirl wants to send me something, and it was all very, very overwhelming. But I didn't know enough to reach out to an agency or this or that, so I started to have people come in, slide in the DMs and say like, hey, we'd love to represent you, and here's what we can bring to the offer, what we can offer to the table, and just kind of went from there. But yeah, I didn't know anything. And most people don't, because how are you going to know? How are you going to know what to charge, or how are you going to know what's legit and what's not? And is this brand trying to screw you? I mean, it's tough. Yeah.
Do you think there's a certain level in terms of just whether it's viewership or, we were talking a little bit before we came on, but we were saying, I think it was before we came on, you said the amount of followers may not really matter as much in terms of, but it's really more so, I guess, the views and the engagement of the actual content itself. Right. So is there a certain level, do you think that I
think things really started to change when I hit 1 million. I think when people see 1 million followers, it's kind of a different kind of feeling, a different vibe. Oh, okay, you're really taking this seriously, and you're really putting a lot into this. But yeah, I mean, especially with TikTok, you could have 10 million followers and you can get 1,000 views every video because you have to work your butt off. You can't just put out bullshit content and expect people to engage and love it and share it. I mean, you really have to stay on top of your game.
What's the secret? How many times do you get asked that?
The secret, there's it's like a special sauce with 100 different ingredients. It really is.
Yeah.
Luck is a big part of it because, like I said, I was home. I wasn't in a traditional 9-to-5 job. I was home. I had the time. It was the time to get in on TikTok. I had 10 years of experience being on camera, shooting, editing, adding graphics and music, all of this behind the scenes stuff mixed with on-air stuff, being super comfortable in front of a camera. That's a big part of it. I'm consistent as hell. Like, I don't ever give up. And yeah, I think that's a really, really big part of it is there's always ups and downs, monthly, daily, weekly with this kind of thing. But if you know in your heart it's what you're meant to do, you just got to keep plugging at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the consistency is so important. I mean, honestly, I think that's probably one of the most, in my opinion, one of the most important things because it's, I mean, geez, like if you're not consistent, who's going to keep following?
Right. Right. And people are always like, what's the newest thing? What's the latest thing? Like, let's give us that content. Give us that content. But now I started taking weekends off and that's helped my mental health a little bit to just kind of, I'll post a video here and there that I have filmed previously, but I try not to film it all on the weekends and just kind of live it up and be present with my family.
Yeah, definitely. That's awesome. So beauty obsessed.
Yeah.
Right? It's in your bio.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am.
Yeah. You're
I love
obsessed.
this shit.
Yeah. How much? Like,
I mean, it's my life now and I'm the happiest I've ever been.
Yeah.
Like I said, I grew up in my mom's salon and just growing up around, ladies getting their hair done and just always going through her makeup drawers and just playing with things. I fell in love with it all. And I always say I don't have any regrets, but part of me really wanted to go to cosmetology school when I graduated from high school. And I fell into the pressure of, no, that's not good enough, and I don't know why, because it is good enough. It is. And I kind of just fell into that, the pressures of society. No, go and get your degree and, you can go back and get that if you want. But yeah, I wish I would have just said like, fuck it and done what I really wanted to do. Now, granted, everything led me to where I am today. So like, I wouldn't change a thing, but I really want to go to cosmetology school and be a professional makeup artist or hairstylist and work on fashion shoots and doing makeup. But yeah, it became my hobby then throughout the years, or when I had time, or I tried to do a blog or YouTube videos. And now that I get to do it full time, I'm just like, wow. Like, it's so cliche, but I'm just like, pinch me. Like, this is my life. This is my job. Like, how lucky am I?
Yeah, now you have your own freaking product with your with your face on the box.
How cool.
Right?
How cool.
I mean, how cool is that? That really is like the coolest thing. Congratulations.
Thank
by
you
the
so
way,
much.
For that.
Yeah.
I remember seeing the video of you, like you teared up. You were crying. Like,
yeah.
when you...
Well, it makes me really emotional.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was one of the first products, the beach waver, that I ever used in a tutorial ever. I'm talking like 8 years ago, and I'm thinking, and I had a QVC audition, and I'm thinking, all right, what can I use in my audition that I love and that I can use easily and show people how to use and talk really comfortably about? And I'm like, beach waver, definitely beach waver. So that was what got me my first in-person QVC audition, was that I sent in a taped audition with that, and I've used it this whole time, 8 years. I'll continue to use it because I love it. So when they approached me and wanted to do a collab and have me design it, I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, seriously?
So
I still
cool.
can't believe it. It's so crazy.
Yeah, that is awesome. So you brought it here. If I had longer hair, people, I'd show you how it works, but unfortunately I do not. So
yeah, it's self-rotating.
We'll leave it. Yeah, we'll leave it to the pros like you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So sold out though. You said before we came on.
Sold
you were
out.
telling me.
Yep.
Launched the product and sold out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you guys? Are you guys doing another run of it? Like, what's
Nothing is definite yet. I get a lot of messages from people saying like, oh, I missed out on it, or do you think you're gonna do it again? So it's not something I'd roll out. But yeah, it was really cool when it first launched, just to see everybody, especially locally, really have my back. And I had a little special kind of deal just for friends and family for the first 24 hours, and it was buy one get one free. So there's 2 barrel sizes, and I was just getting messages from people. Hey, oh my gosh, like I've known you since you were a baby. I can't believe it. And that was the coolest thing, just to have all the support of all friends and family and just people that have known me from the area forever and known how much I love beauty products and hair and makeup. And yeah, it's really cool.
That is a really cool feeling. Congrats again, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Thank you.
So yeah, so going back to like the consistency things, I just think that's so important. Obviously you say you batch your content, but like, is there anything else like that you tell yourself or think, during the week, like when you're doing this content, like do you ever feel like you might be in like a rut where you are less creative, or is like what do you do, kind of when you get yourself in those situations that you're like, even though you're being consistent, but you're like, I just don't know if I'm feeling it this week. And especially if you batch your content, you might, what if you have a bad day?
Yeah.
Right? Then what?
Well, there's always ruts in creative fields. Always ruts. And the thing that helps me out of it every single time is that I say to myself, you don't have to use what you film. Because a lot of the times you think you're in a rut and you think you're not creative. And I'll say, just, press fucking record and just do it. You don't have to use it. And then I find that when I start talking about things and I'm passionate about it, I can get into a zone where I'm like, wow, I'm glad I just pressed record because that video was great. Yeah. You just have to sometimes not be afraid of messing up, not be afraid of having a bad video. Just show up. Showing up is more than half the battle.
Yeah. And I think some people like they struggle just to post like one thing a week, or it's like, oh, I don't know what to put in the caption. I don't know what to say. That's always like the famous thing. Whenever I talk to people about it, they're always like, Bill, but I don't know what to say. I'm like, what do you mean you don't know what to say?
Well, saying something or doing something is better than nothing. That's what I always say. Just say something. You can edit it. Just put it down on paper. Put an idea down. Say your first line of your video. It doesn't have to be a perfect masterpiece every time. Just get up and do it and go for it.
Yeah, and I think one of the other important things, like you said about like just start rolling, like just start filming. Like you could edit it, right?
Yeah.
I always find, at least for myself, like what works is that exact thing. Like you're overthinking like, okay, hey, I'm gonna film X, Y, and Z today, right? And then you're gonna sit there and think about it for too long. It's like, just start filming.
Right.
Just start. Like, and hey, you may, your first few tries or lines, you may really botch them. Yeah. And then you're like, but then you get rolling, you get going, and then you feel more confident, you get more confidence,
yes.
and then you start being more creative than you probably thought you would be, because because then at that point you're just doing it. Mm-hmm. And it's like, okay, well, hey, that take didn't work, but then we take it again, and then, oh, great, that one worked. Okay, next.
Right, just show up. Like, those 2 words are so helpful. Like, just show up. Yeah. And then the rest will come.
Yeah, you just gotta like actually just start doing it. Like, literally anytime I should take my own advice sometimes more than I should, but like it literally is. It's just like, just hit record. Yeah. And just start, and then
I know, works for everything.
Like literally the rest, it'll happen. Like it will happen.
It reminds me so much. This has nothing to do with anything, but like every night when my husband and I are watching TV on the couch and it's late, I'm like, oh, I don't want to go wash my face or brush my teeth. Like, I don't want to do it. And I have this thing where I go like, okay, just because I don't want to do it, I'm going to do it. And I like run off the couch and I run over and I run to the bathroom and I just like, I don't know.
It's like a psychological thing.
It is. It's totally
mental.
It is.
It's mental.
Because once I rip the blanket off and I get up to go brush my teeth, then it's just like, you're there. So it works in many aspects of life. Just do it. Just start. Do it.
Just train your mind.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Like, you just have to kind of just get into that right mindset of like, hey, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to do this on, every day at these certain times, and just kind of get yourself into a schedule and batch stuff and do it that way, because otherwise, you may just burn yourself out. Like,
yeah. A lot of people suffer with burnout, especially with how people are expected to just crank out so much content anymore. A lot of my creator friends I know go in and out of funks and just feeling like too much pressure. And I feel like that's where the passion for what I'm talking about really helps too, because I love talking about this stuff and helping people and doing tutorials. Like, I really love that stuff. So that helps me when I'm not really feeling it certain days either.
Yeah, and it's the obsession, right? What starts as like a passion, then you become obsessed with it, and like you said, the authenticity behind all that because you genuinely love it, like the product here, like your own product. Like you said, like that was like one of the first things that you used and like that you loved it. Like you genuinely actually use it and love it. And people can see that. They'll know when they're watching.
Yeah, I feel like that's part of the reason I've been able to kind of keep things going is that I keep it very real. If I don't like something, I say so.
I think you have that even somewhere in a bio. Somebody keeping it real, right? You have.
Yeah, I do.
You have that somewhere on your socials.
Most people will just say, this is great and this is great. But I feel like I've really gotten a good relationship with my audience in that if something's not good, I will say so. If something's not working or if a tool doesn't work or if I don't like this formula, this foundation, I 100% say it. And, maybe it'll get me kicked off a PR list or two. But at the end of the day, it means so much more to me to have, Mary, who tried my foundation review, get it, buy it, and like it, than have people just buy something and they don't like it. The trust is
and then
everything.
They'll remember like, oh, that Erin, man, she posted something.
People will
like,
tell me. Yeah.
Do they?
Oh, yeah.
How many messages do you get?
Oh my gosh, a lot. Well, there's TikTok and Instagram and YouTube. My email. It's constant. I have to really kind of stay focused to not always be in the inbox because that can just be a time warp. But I do try to respond. Like I'll take on the weekends, an hour or two and go through my DMs and give people product recommendations, or some people want to know where'd you get that headband or where'd you get those jeans, or I respond to people as much as I can, but you could be there forever just scrolling.
Endless.
Yeah.
So like what else? All right. So you were just traveling recently, and you've done some other really cool things like over the last year or so. I've seen red carpet events and just doing other really cool things. What are some of the most memorable things that you've done so far that opportunities that you got just through this makeup thing?
Yeah, so many things stick out. Visiting the White House was one of them.
That's a pretty big deal.
What? I still don't know how. Still think that was like a mistake.
You got invited by accident, right?
I'm like, are you guys sure? I'm like, makeup, yeah, hair girl. Yeah, but that was just something where the White House had reached out to my agency and said like, hey, we're doing holiday tours for creators. So if you want to send us anybody who's interested, we'll kind of, they had to go through all the backgrounds and everything, and we'll tell you who's kind of allowed to come or who we'd like to host. And yeah, they invited me, and it was one of the wildest things ever.
So you got to go with your husband, right?
Yeah. We went to the gate and I'm like, hi. And I gave him my name. And there's like a guy, a huge gun and a radio. And he's like, Erin Dugan Jurchak, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh God, I'm like sweating. I'm like, I
nervous.
Swear I'm supposed to be here. And then
like, your name's not on the list.
No, he was like, go ahead. And the door opens and I'm like, oh my God. And then we go to another security station, another one. And I'm just like, what? How? Oh, wow, I guess this is really happening. Then the door opened and we went inside. And
checks off, yeah.
Yeah, I got a private tour of everything, and I was able to take videos and photos and learn the history of all the rooms, and it was crazy.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
What else? What else have you done recently?
I just got back from New Orleans, actually.
That's right.
A couple days ago, I went on a brand trip with L'Oreal. I have a great relationship with L'Oreal. They own like It Cosmetics and Maybelline and NYX Cosmetics. So I work with them pretty frequently on launches or doing little sponsored videos here and there. But brand trips are, again, something I never thought I would experience because I had watched my favorite like beauty YouTubers do this back in the day. So I recently went to Key Largo with Tarte Cosmetics, and I got to walk a red carpet for Don't Worry Darling with MAC, who's one of my long-term partners, and probably I'd say probably that's the partner I'm most proud of, MAC, because of their history in the makeup industry.
Shout out to MAC.
MAC, I love you, MAC.
I love you, MAC.
I used to just be like, oh man, okay, I can buy one thing on the website. I can buy one thing, I'll save up a little bit. I'll get one thing here. I'll get one thing there. And now like I'm working with them. I have a year-long contract with MAC. It's just like, seriously pinch me. Seriously. Yeah.
That's so cool. So what does that entail? Like, what do you, do you guys like have to meet, like go, test products, review products?
Yeah, we
like,
do Zoom meetings once in a while. And then if there's a launch they're really excited about, we'll do like a sponsored video about it. I'm invited to a lot of their red carpet events that they sponsor the makeup for. The Don't Worry Darling and then the Whitney Houston biopic was just a couple months ago. And yeah, just, it's wild because they have such a reputation for really only working with makeup artists, and I'm not a trained makeup artist. So to me, it's just like, wow, like I can't believe they trust me to partner with them, and it's wild to me.
Surreal.
They're Mac. Like, I don't even know if you know this. Like, do you even know? Like,
I think they're a pretty big deal.
it's Mac.
Yeah. They're kind of a big deal.
It's Mac, yeah. So they hold a really huge place in my heart that they want to partner with me. It's crazy.
That's very cool. Yeah. So do you feel like, now you've gotten to like sort of like a point, like, do you feel pressure? Like, I mean, you've gotten to like such a level. I mean, you have millions of followers, like just millions, right? Do you sometimes feel like you have this pressure now to perform?
No.
More than you used to?
I mean, well, there's always going to be pressure, especially when you're dealing with an algorithm that you need to keep working and you need to have good content all the time, or you're not going to grow and you're not going to have views. There's always going to be pressure. But no, I try not to put too much pressure on myself, because I feel like that's when people start to kind of sabotage themselves and drift and maybe start doing content that's not them, or stuff that's, clickbaity, or just not.
Or just for the money.
Yeah.
Not genuine.
Yeah.
Keeping it real.
Yeah. That's what I aim to always do. And I think people can tell that by my content.
Definitely. You really could see it. I mean, obviously, I've seen enough of it myself. And, the way that just our interaction here today is very similar to, to your the videos that you create, and, the authenticity of, you talking about the brands and the products. And you can definitely, like, when somebody is faking it, it's like so obvious.
Yeah.
Because I mean, that you would get yourself in a rut, and it's just like, then it's like, what are we doing this for?
Right.
If it's like not genuine, like, then like, why are you doing it?
Yeah.
And I think some people sometimes go down that wrong path, and it's just like,
yeah, it's a lot of people get caught up in views, and they do crazy things or give the wrong advice, or just, maybe what's good for them in short term, but maybe not the best for their audience. So I try to always have a good balance of being entertaining, but not having clickbait stuff or, wrong advice. I just like to keep it real, still be entertaining, but still maintain a good, trustworthy relationship with my audience.
Yeah, definitely. What has been like your favorite thing besides the White House, and obviously now you have your own product? I mean, is there anything else that really stood out to you, throughout this journey that it's been a short but also kind of a long journey. You've thinking back to when you were, you said a long time ago when you were like trying to become what you became now. Like, were there any other moments that now you're like, wow, this is so cool?
You know what? Yeah, honestly. So the foundation that I wore on the sidelines for so many years, L'Oreal Infallible Foundation, shout out.
Shout out L'Oreal.
Shout out L'Oreal. I actually ended up on a national commercial for that foundation, and it was crazy. And it's the biggest deal I've ever had to date.
That's wild.
Yeah. And I'm just, people are sending me clips of me on TV, and I'm just like, I was just putting this on the sidelines in an old Forge like 2 years ago. What? And now I'm in a commercial? Like, what is going on?
Yeah. Wow.
That was a big wow moment.
Do they give you like, do they give you like, hey, this reached X amount of people? Like, do they give
I'm
you?
not sure.
You don't know?
No.
But I mean, obviously it's a lot.
Yeah.
Like, but millions, like all around the world probably, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if it was just like in the US market only, whatever. But
I'm
like,
not sure, but
they're such a big brand that, to have yourself in a commercial for them, like that's
crazy.
That's wild.
Crazy. And Tarte Cosmetics actually flew my mom and I out for a mother-daughter photo shoot. That was
cool.
Another really big highlight, because I love being able to share any of this with my mom, because she's my best friend. And it's super fun to see her, go through my PR products and pick out a lipstick. And she's just so proud of me, and it's really fun.
And you actually do, when you do review stuff, you were saying like, if you don't like something, you say like, oh, nah, this sucks.
Yeah,
well,
no,
not those words, but
yeah, I'm pretty sure I've said this sucks before. I don't really hold back.
Yeah,
but
that's
people
good.
trust my reviews that much more, because I'm not afraid to call it like it is, or say, you don't need this, like this is garbage, and that's something that's kind of new in the beauty influencer industry. Is you didn't have people in the past saying, yeah, you don't need this. If you were on a PR list and you were getting sent products, everything was great.
Yeah,
yay.
you loved it all.
You loved it all. Yeah. but that's not helpful in the long run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not reality. Yeah.
No, there's a lot of stuff that sucks, Bill.
Well, I won't ask you what sucks, because I'd feel bad for those people. But no, like it's just it's very cool to see, like what you've done and like what you've accomplished in just such a short amount of time. Like what for you, like where do you see, or what are your goals? Like where do you think you can take this thing? Where do you want to take this thing?
I just don't know. I mean, I try not to think too much about that and just kind of live in the everyday and the grind, because if you get too focused on what you're going for, you can get derailed. I feel like you should live in the journey of the day, the moment, just kind of roll with it and see what opportunities come. I'd love to do a makeup collab, though. Now that I've had a hair collab, I'd love to do a makeup collab. I'd love to, I don't know, maybe have a jewelry line. I'm really big into jewelry. I think that'd be fun.
Hey, flash these here. What do you,
I
noticed these.
I love my shout out Three Sisters in Kingston from my favorite jeweler, Charles Albert. That's my favorite. But yeah, I get a lot of comments on my videos like, who makes that or who makes that? And I just love jewelry, and I feel like that could be a really fun thing to do in the future. Maybe my own line. Yeah, who knows? Who knows? Because I never thought I'd be like going to New Orleans with L'Oreal. So yeah, who knows?
Yeah, wild. All over the place.
All over.
It's so cool.
I've lived 10 million lifetimes. I have.
Yeah. All right. So what would you say, for a young content creator or anyone just trying to get started, what would be your advice?
The first thing I always tell people who want to get involved is that your superpower is you. There's only one you. There's only ever going to be one you. Play that strength. Don't get worried about what this person's doing or that person's content. Just do your own thing. Stay in your own lane. If it's your passion, if it's your drive, it'll come to you. Show up for yourself. Show up for your audience. Stay true to yourself. But again, I always come back to there's only one you. It's really easy to look and say, this person has X followers or they're working with these brands. I'll never be able to do that. There's not space. There's space for everyone. There's space for everyone in the industry. Just keep working hard and use that superpower of you and being an individual and nobody else having the same perspective or point of view as you.
So I want to kind of go back to like the algorithm a little bit, whether it's TikTok, maybe TikTok specifically. How do you navigate the constant changes of the platform?
It's really hard. It's one of the main challenges is that I feel like sometimes they're still figuring out what they're doing because some things work one week and then I'll continue to do that content and then it's not working. Short form was really, really favored at the beginning. Quick tips, 10, 15 seconds. Now we're moving more towards trending into longer tips. I know two things for sure because I had a TikTok, I don't know what the word is for there. There's somebody, once you get verified, you kind of have a liaison at TikTok and you can ask them things and just, best practices, things like that. And two of the things that they always relayed to me was that your hook is so important because there's so much competition on the app. So many people scrolling, looking for content, whether it be visual hook or text hook or voiceover. You want to hit somebody right away. You don't want them to have to stick around and say, well, what is this video about? No, I want to know instantly. So I'll try to put text on the screen like XYZ foundation review, or if something's really visually interesting, like the big lipstick that I brought today, this giant lipstick, I'll show that right away and say like, this is a big fucking lipstick, but it draws people in and they want to know more. And that's what gets your video sent out to more people is when people are actually watching your video till the end or to a certain point. Once TikTok sees that particular video is of value, it'll start sending it to more and more and more. And if your video is like really kicking ass, that's how things go super viral.
How can our listeners connect with you online? I mean, I feel like that's it's very easy to find you online, but where are you on social media?
So on TikTok, I am Erin Dugan Jurchak, at Erin Dugan Jurchak, all one word. My Instagram is still my, volleyball nickname from King's College. I haven't changed it, which was Dugs. So it's Erin Dugs, ERINDUGES. And then I am on YouTube. I'm not quite as active on YouTube, but it's Erin Dugan 62. And yeah.
And the YouTube is coming back, right? You said maybe in the near future.
In the near future, I'm going to try to do a little bit more long form content and really get into maybe some more vlogs or life in the day kind of thing. just need more time. I need Alex to go to school.
You're right. Then you can have more quiet.
Yes.
In the studio.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, this has been so much fun.
Yeah, this has been fantastic. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, this has been great, and I look forward to seeing what else you do. You're crushing it.
Thank
and
you.
I love it. Congrats.
So are you.
Yeah.
Congrats on the podcast. It's a really awesome little space you have here.
Thank
and
you.
Anybody who's killing it in northeastern Pennsylvania is, always somebody who
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Erin Dugan Jurchak on the Stacks podcast in the Blue Door Studio. Thanks for joining me.
Okay. Thanks.
If you want to see more On the Stacks content, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/OnTheStacks podcast or search the hashtag OnTheStacks on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn.